Sunset and Burning Leaves by Reverend Shusei. Chapter 18. It is fashionable today, among students of philosophy and religion, to make the statement that all religions are saying the same thing. In a very broad and superficial sense, this is perhaps true. However, most are saying this, quote, same thing poorly. The objective disciple of Buddha will have to say that the Buddha Sashana is, in many cases, not saying it as well as it might. However, Buddhism remains the vehicle which is superior to all others. If we did not know this to be so, we would doubtless be Baptists, or Muslims, or Theosophists, or Baha'i. I believe that all religions have as their source the all-pervading, albeit undeveloped, awareness of ultimate truth. It does not follow, however, that all religions have even this undeveloped awareness in equal measure. It is also a common fallacy among Buddhists to claim that enlightenment is not possible in, as they are fond of labeling it, this degenerate age, which is too far removed from the time of Sakyamuni and too wicked to allow men to decipher the true teaching. I believe such an attitude to be the foolish outgrowth of lazy minds. If one cares to look only upon the foolish ways of men, he will see that every age in which man has lived has been degenerate. Were it not so, there would never have been any need for the great liberation. A great measure of degeneracy is essential if enlightenment is to bud and flower in the world. If one places a plant in sterile soil and never adds any manure, there will never be a flower on the plant. There must be turmoil if there is to be a wish for peace. What man forges weapons when there is no war to be waged? From the inception of the cosmos, there have always existed those two elements which humans term good and bad. These two in combination underlie and condition all relative experience. If everyone was well-fed, well-clothed, wealthy, long-lived, and spiritually comfortable, if there were neither famines, floods, wars, or other disasters, who would need look for salvation? If the house is not burning, there is no need to seek a way out. The house, however, is on fire. This, quote, degenerate age is becoming hotter by the day, and the hotter it becomes, the more uncomfortable people are, and the more desperately do they seek a release from the flames. If a fire is hot enough, a man will do one of two things. He will either give up in his efforts to escape, in which case he will be consumed, or he will find a way out. The fact that we see daily ever more people consumed by the flames of ignorance and suffering does not mean that there is no way out. Further, it does not mean that there is a way, but no one is finding it. The way is here, just as it has been here, at all times and in every age, ever since the Buddha Shakya found it and left its door open. The person who thus seeks and thus finds and passes through leaves the scorching flames of sorrow behind. He breathes in the cool air of spiritual fulfillment. He is free. Chapter 19. One of the most important ingredients in the life of a disciple of Buddha is discipline. Unfortunately, the instilling of discipline in oneself is a most difficult task. If a teacher of the way would render himself unpopular among the majority of seekers after truth, he was only to mention discipline. He may speak of love, charity, devotion, bliss, dedication, and all the other components of the Dharma life, and these will be well received. Let him, however, speak of discipline, and the assembly will begin to squirm and be ill at ease. The greatest underlying cause of the wasting away of the Dharma in this present age is the lack of the discipline in the lives of the people. The greatest underlying cause of the wasting away of the Dharma in this present age is the lack of discipline in the lives of the people. Today, we want everything the easy way. Our clothes must be permanent press. Our refrigerator must be defrosting. We push a button and we have light in darkness, heat in winter, cool in summer. Buttons and switches bring us instant entertainment, instant contact with remote places, instant longevity, and instant death. It is therefore not surprising that in this marvelous scientific age of instant everything, that when a person decides that he wants the perfection of wisdom, he wants it right now, without the necessity of putting forth any effort, and certainly by avoiding the road that would deprive him of any part of his freedoms and excesses. The destruction of the ego concept, which results in the Great Awakening, is not to be achieved via any easy path. Discipline in both thought and action are essential to every step on the path to liberation. The thought of discipline must be established in the mind of the disciple so that it can gradually become the central activity in his life. The successful teacher of the Dharma seeks to instill in his disciples an awareness of discipline in many ways. The teacher should demand the highest respect from his students in all things where he himself is concerned. He should assume the role of the strict but loving father, whose only wish is the welfare of his children. He should insist that his students show all proper respect to their parents, to the elders in their families, and to all persons who are members of an older generation. He should instruct his students to be at all times humble before the world. In turn, the student should seek always to observe both humbly and willingly all directives issued to him by his teacher. He should be always respectful toward his teacher, maintaining silence in his presence except when he is called upon to speak. He should regard his teacher as his good father, who knows the way wherein he leads his children. If all these ways of teacher and student are observed, a proper and productive rapport will be established, through which as much Dharma transmission as is possible will be accomplished. Further, if these things are observed, when the time comes that no further transmission is possible, the student will be well prepared to continue on the way, traversing that last distance which must be walked alone. If the proper attitude is maintained, when the time shall have come to put an end to talking, it will be to the student as though his teacher were guiding him still, for he will have come to hold him ever in his heart and mind. When at last the student opens, like the lotus to the light, and is awakened to his essential nature, then between teacher and student there shall be no separation any more, for they shall have become as one mind.